In this video, we're going to have a look at following signs and road markings to get us where we want to go. First of all, we want to be going to Leeds. All of this information has been put there for drivers, so we're going to use it. This first sign tells us which lane we need. We've got a choice of two, but we're going to take the left lane as there's no queue in traffic. This sign shows that we need the second exit on both roundabouts. We safely get into the lane for Leeds and Scarborough. Got a green light, so we're just going to keep following round. We don't want that first exit. We stay in our lane, Leeds and Scarborough. We've got so much information here, we're going to just read it. We still want Leeds. Our lane splits, we want Leeds, and we're still in our choice of the left-hand lane. We're now coming up to a red light and we sit here for a little bit, so I'm just going to move on. It's so important that we stay in our lane as we move round. That first exit, if you remember from the sign, is for Scarborough. We need to move round and look, we've still got so much information that we're going to take on board. Got the lane markings, we've got the overhead signs. It tells us clearly which lanes we need. We've got to stay in this left-hand lane because, oh look, there's something there that we don't want to hit. This white van chose the right-hand lane. They obviously want to be a little bit more progressive than we were being, and that's fine. That's what that lane's for. They've now got something coming up behind them, so they're moving in front of us after leaving a safe distance. But actually, I'm having to slow down a bit here, so I'm going to check that it's safe to get into the gap. I'm going to move around this white van. This second white van knows what I'm doing. Again, they've moved over with a safe gap, and I'm just going to keep going past them. And when it's safe, I'm going to check my mirrors, going to check my blind spot and move back over. Now we just continue on the A64 for a little while. So again, I'm just going to move us on. And we're now going to follow signs for York. So I've got a green sign here coming up and it tells me my next exit, York. That's what I want. All the time that I'm preparing to leave on my exit, I'm just going to keep monitoring who's behind me, who might be coming up really quickly on my right hand side and perhaps wanting to get that exit as well. So I'm just going to keep having a look, check round, see what's coming up behind me. Now I've got my markers here telling me that my exit is now 100 yards. I'm going to be mirroring signalling. And I want the right hand lane. Now look at these cars coming up. I've got to check that nothing else is going to come off in front of me. Now I know I want the right hand lane. There's a lot of traffic in that left hand lane. I've just got straight into it. Look, I want all the way round to York. My lane markings are telling me, my signs are telling me which lane that I want. And it's another traffic light controlled roundabout. And if you have a look at this car in front of me, they've got some P plates. So they may have recently passed their test. So I'm just going to be mindful of that and just think, okay, let's give them a little bit of space, a little bit of time. So as I move round, I'm going to get straight into the inside because, well, I was in the right-hand lane. I'm going to take in information about signs and lanes. I'm going to keep going round. It still says York, but look what's happening to my lane here as everyone else spirals off. It splits. I've got a choice of two lanes again. I'm going to take the left-hand lane because there's no reason not to. I'm not overtaking. I don't want that exit. That says Leeds. I'm not going to Leeds. I'm going to York. So I'm going to stay in this lane. And I'm going to get confirmation as I approach this red light. That is my exit. It says York, Fulford. I want York. That's where I'm going. And I'm coming off and I'm staying in that left-hand lane, sticking to my lane. Now I'll need to stop somewhere soon and end this video. And I know there's somewhere coming up on the right that I can pull over into a more residential place. So I'm going to check that it's safe for me to move over to that right-hand lane. Going to move over and now I'm just going to be looking for signs for Osbaldwick. As I pass through these traffic lights, I'll be able to see signs for Osbaldwick. It tells me it's over on the right. So I'm going to get into this right-hand lane as opens up. I'm going to get in as soon as it opens up because that's why it was made like that, for me to move in at that point. And as I move around, I just want to be mindful of the lane that is for me. It's this one on the left-hand side. I don't want that lane. That's for oncoming traffic. And there we go. We've managed to navigate our way around just by using signs and road markings. It's such a useful skill to have.